Hello. It is Metalhead time. Right out of the portal here, we're gonna be holding left just a bit so that we can take a line through these red gems. Skitter this, charging jump onto this. Okay. If you want to be safer about it, you can slow hop onto it, but charging jump obviously the fastest. Then kind of a 3/4 hop charge glide here. If you do mess up and end up down here, this ledge is jumpable. You can jump and charge onto the ledge kind of at a parallel angle. So if you mess up, that's your backup. Is just from here, jump up, grind up this ledge into here. Right at the start of Metalhead, we're going to be doing an out of bounds. This saves about 4 to 5 seconds over not doing it. If you want to not do it, you just go up these stairs. You'd kill this guy and either leave his gem or grab his gem, because we do come back through kind of in this general area, but that's kind of personal preference if you're not going to do the trick. Keep in mind that these guys get kicked by these guys, and you don't have to worry about charging into them if they get kicked, and no matter where they die, the gem auto homes to you, so don't worry about charging into them while they're kicked. So there's a couple ways to set up this out of bounds, but generally how I do it, see this like light, this light here, I kind of aim for the edge of it, just the very tip of it. I want to be looking like right here, like right to the barely right of this railing. Okay? See that? Just do a quick jump, charge glide, charge down. This is how I set it up, because basically how long you're off the ground affects the enemy that we're going to be getting out of bounds on. But you see that? Just charge glide, charge down through here. Now, you kind of want to either brush the left of this guy and then like beat him into the corner basically, because it's gonna like push him back up and then he's gonna land onto Spyro when we're in the corner. Or the other thing you can do is jump and charge into the left side of him, like jump charge. And personally, I think that actually makes it a little easier. I haven't messed with it too much, but I was told that the other day and got it pretty quick, like a few times in a row. So you can experiment with that too, like jump, doing a like a mid hop jump charge into him. But I'll like just play this really slow. See, I want to brush the left side of him, but I want to be aiming at this corner when I do so. So just brush the left side of him. We want to beat him into the corner. See how he's landing on us. As soon as he lands in the corner, I want to be charging. And we get out of bounds with that. Now, depending on exactly where you're facing when you get out of bounds, you do have to be careful to not die to go out of bounds. You want to land back in bounds, obviously. Um, so what I personally kind of like to do is like as I'm getting pushed through is like just hold left for a second and then start holding right. Just and not even a second, just like I guess it's hard to know exactly how long I do it, but I kind of like to do a left press as I'm going through and then start holding right. See, I kind of go left there. You can kind of tell by the camera. Then start going right, and I'm holding charge the whole time. Ideally, you're coming out here and you're getting a line through these 3 chests if it's perfect. Obviously, if you just get over here and you don't have a line through the 3 chests, you have to correct a little bit to get the 3 chests. That's okay too, but obviously, this is perfect. Get the charge through. You see the camera likes to do all kinds of funky things with that out of bounds. So, oh, and let me just say with that out of bounds. Also, I'll play it. This is a tough trick, so I'll play the whole thing back full speed. Let me say with this out of bounds, this is one of the things that I struggle with the most as far as achieving consistency. So, it is a hard trick. Like, it's not hard to get it once. It's hard to get consistent, if that makes sense. So let's watch the whole thing. There we go. Through these 3. All right, then we're gonna have a big old staircase Be careful with these stairs because I swear some of the stairs are slightly higher than others, so it makes it hard to get into a rhythm. What I like to do is kind of get into this like wall and kind of use the wall to guide me with these quick jump charges. Remember, light square taps, remember, so we're not bonking to the back. Once we get up here, through these three, cut back. Boom, like that. Just kind of watch that movement in slow-mo. 1, 2, and see how I'm already kind of turning as I'm hitting that chest? And jump, fade back, charge through, just clip the edge of it. Perfect, and we want the key. Full hop through the torch gap. Charge down here. Sometimes you'll get caught on this corner, sometimes you'll get through here. Either way, make sure that you're kind of like landing or charging into this area and then full hop into the whirlwind. Left, or like you want to be on brushing the right side of these chests so that we're taking the inside line so that these two gems are homing. Okay. Let's watch that again. Just like that. Okay. Now, I'm personally a fan of skipping this guy. This guy is a 5 gem. I like to skip him if I'm on the gem count to do so. This guy actually is, if you execute it perfectly, it is better gems per second than this guy. This guy's also a 5, but I just prefer to get this guy because it's pretty negligible between the two, and this one's just easier execution for me personally. But if you want to get this guy that's down below, what you're gonna want to do instead of going straight left is you're gonna kind of charge off the back here and curl the charge down and land and flame. Okay. So yeah, jump over him. So I'm skipping that gem. If you do get this guy, these reds are technically good gems per second, but keep in mind everything is relative to your gem count at this point. Like we can say something's good gems per second because it's like above 3.7, 3.8 gems per second or whatever we want to claim. But obviously that number changes drastically this late in the run depending on how many gems we need, right? Like if we just simply don't need these reds, then like it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Like how good of gems per second they are, it still takes time to get them, you know? So keep in mind everything's relative to your gem count. You'll get the hang of it. That's why these numbers are important. I'll keep saying it. Like the second numbers, like check them as you're exiting levels. Yeah. Like for me, keep in mind with these numbers, for me, my count, I'm always going to be behind the count a bit because that's just how I prefer to do it mathematically, because we're going to have some math to do basically in Dreamweavers once we're going into the final level for like deciding our route. So this is just how I prefer to do it. So don't necessarily just copy these numbers off of me. Like make it make sense to yourself so that you can aren't trying to like co-opt somebody else's system. Do it in a way that makes sense to you. Anyway, I'm gonna get the reds, line back through there, bridge. Now, some people like to get this chicken with one flame while they're getting the firework. Some people like to just prioritize the firework first. There's problems with both ways. There's positive and negatives to both ways. The issue with getting the chicken first is sometimes Sparks takes a while to eat, and once we get up here, there's going to be some loose gems, and if you get the long Sparks eat animation, he's not going to pick them up if you have really, really good movement, and you'll be too fast through that section. However, the negative of leaving the chicken for later is you kind of have to take a little bit of a worse line sometimes to make sure to get the chicken, and then like sometimes there's gonna be four gems in this area. Sometimes you like maybe pick up 3 and flame the chicken, and then like you have to maybe cut back and land on the gem, or it makes you miss a gem because then Sparks is eating then. But you know, once again, this is something that's personal preference. So on this run, I get the chicken, flame through here. Be careful of that guy, especially if you are prioritizing not getting the chicken first, because it's a bit better line, so you'll be a bit faster. Be careful to not get hit by this guy. If you're charging, you're good. Or if you're left enough, you're good. But don't want to get hit there. Through here, flame there, charge there, cut back, and then kind of taking a line like that and back down. These are the gems I was talking about, where if Sparks is still eating from the chicken, that it can be a pain to getting them. So if you're playing with game sound, you can hear Sparks' like munch when he does eat. So that is something to keep in mind here. There's actually a couple of places in this level where it's good to be playing with game sound. I'll point out the other one later. Down through here, these gems are pretty RNG heavy. You'll see all kinds of different patterns here, so react to what you see. On this gem, or on this run, I actually go a bit too fast and miss this right gem. Miss that right blue gem. Sparks decides to prioritize that close one instead of the far one. If he would have prioritized this one first, and then that one as I was leaving, then I probably would have got all of them, but he unfortunately prioritized this downwards one first before this one. So I was out of the range by the time he would have gotten that one. So there I do drop a 5 gem. Through here, you want to kind of take a line. You can just charging jump through these if you want to make it simple. I try to get a double flame charge, or at least hit one of the flame charges. Either way, it's correctable. This run I do hit a double flame charge, but keep in mind, if you do miss it, you can kind of just jump a little farther back than you would here normally, and grab those. But let me say, in this area, you want to be quick in this area, because when you're in this area, it actually affects our pylon cycles in the next room. And if you take too long here, you're going to be way off cycle, and it's going to lose you a lot of time, because we basically want to be on cycle because we can get all the pylons in a planned way. If you're off cycle, then you're off plan, and you don't know exactly how to get the pylons as fast as possible, and it ends up costing a lot of time. So be quick through that section. Here, hug the wall. Just charge through there. Sometimes that guy will hit you, sometimes he'll miss you. Either way, like I said, those gems auto home. What I like to do here is stick left, kind of flick the flame out with a charging jump and curl back outwards so I don't bonk into the body. And take a line through these chests and curl back through that 2 gem. There, cut back. When you do this cut back, be careful. This guy wants to kick you. This guy wants to kick you. Don't go too far that way, or he's gonna hit you. So make sure you're kind of landing near the gem. As I'm landing on this gem, I want to get this guy and head back down. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take a wide line through there and curl in. Like that. See, though, that I'm even optimizing curling there. Obviously it'd take longer to come back and get a hit through this side, right? Because that's a wider turn. That's going to be more charging, take longer. I'm even optimizing just hitting the inside half of him. Yeah. Stuff like that is everywhere in this category. There's tons of just little tiny time saves, and it really, really adds up. Charge down, touch the dragon here. This should be your last dragon collected, at least until Nasty's World, depending on the strats that we'll do in Nasty's World. But we need 50 dragons to exit Metalhead, or to exit Beastmakers. As long as you followed everything in the tutorials, this should be your 50th dragon. Here, kind of tap left a little bit and charge down, and then we're kind of going to take a right angle kind of here, which we don't normally do, but otherwise you kind of have problems with bonking to this pole sometimes. So kind of charge down, then I let go and charge directly right so that I get through these. Now, take a look at this room. These are the cycles I'm talking about, and you want to be, obviously we're on cycle here. If you're not on cycle, good luck. You're just going to have to figure it out. If you're on cycle, or did I say if you're on cycle? If you're off cycle, good luck, figure it out. If you're on cycle, here's what you're going to do. Start running towards this one. Now, if you hold a line like this and you're quick, usually this first throw is going to hit this pylon. Sometimes it doesn't, and I'll tell you what to do if it doesn't. but more often than not, it will hit that pylon as long as you did the movement well. Keep through here, circle through this back one. Now this one, and circle through the back. Now you see how that pylon that was there is gone. It's right here. So let me tell you this, if it's there, it's right there for you, but you have to be more careful because this is the spot where you want game sound. While you're doing this, you can either hear him doing an electric attack, or I guess you can hear him doing an electric attack or not hear him doing anything. So if you hear him doing the electric attack, you know you don't have to worry about it, but if he's not doing the electric attack, he's doing the attack where he throws an enemy, and the enemy that he throws is a 10 gem, okay? So if you were quick through this room and you hit this, then the 10 gem shouldn't drop any further than like where it's directly in our way, invisible. But if this pylon is still up, if he didn't hit it with that first throw, that's just a little more time, and sometimes that makes the 10 gem drop further back in the room, which we have to be careful of because we don't want to just drop the 10 gem. Once again, game sound is important because you'll hear an enemy die. You'll hear an enemy death noise if while you're hitting this pylon, because when you hit the pylon, it basically auto kills the enemy that was thrown in the air wherever it may be. Okay, so let's say you do hear an enemy death noise, and ideally it's going to drop here, and that actually saves you time when it actually drops here. But sometimes it's going to drop like way back further in the room. So like keep in mind, like if you hear that enemy death noise and you're either slow through that room or you had to hit that last pylon manually, take a peek at the like back of the room and make sure that 10 gem is not there. Okay? Either way, we're going to take a line through the 5s. Jump charge here. Be careful with this goo. If you charge into this goo, you can get out. But if you like kind of hit the stair and flop into the goo, it's going to instantly kill you, which unless you're pretty knowledgeable about Spyro Array, you probably don't know that. There's actually some goo that it depends whether you charged into it or not, whether it auto kills you. So this is one of those spots. But so this line can feel dangerous, but you know. Oh, I'll also point out something rare that can happen. Make sure you're charging when you pass this line. If you're walking, you can actually get a rare glitch where Spyro falls through the floor, and that's not going to be very much fun because you're going to die, go back to the last dragon, have to do this whole cycle again. So make sure you're charging when you go over like this kind of like threshold of the doorway. Okay. Jump charges. Now, if the 10 dropped early, you don't have to go back here. Okay, you can curl it back down right here, but otherwise it's going to be right here. Okay, grab it, jump charge down. You want to kind of land somewhere in like this range or like directly on this gem, and it'll pick the other two up. I guess here I landed pretty early, but especially when you get the early 10 drop and are curling back, you want to be you're probably not going to be landing up here, like all the way back here. You're probably going to be landing up here, and sometimes maybe even missing this back gem, but they are reds at least, so. Through here. This jump is technically makeable with just a charging jump. I don't recommend it. I even, like, don't even usually just glide buffer it. Usually I even throw in, like, a couple frame glide. I don't think I did there, actually. I think I just glide buffered. I'm not sure exactly whether it was... Maybe I glided for a frame, but either way, keep in mind that this jump can be optimized. But you know, this is pretty late in the run. Do whatever you feel comfy with. Up to the top once again. There are going to be cycles down here. Okay, so be fast through this section so that your cycles aren't off. Otherwise, good luck. Through here, get a quick charge out, and then we're kind of turning. See how I'm like kind of pre-turning, and then as soon as that gem lands, boom, I'm charging. Yeah? Also with key chests, I don't know if I mentioned this actually with the previous key chest. Always charge, because the gems like when you get into the like, see how a lot of the gems are auto homing. A lot of gems are auto homing because we charged in. Don't like I see a lot of newer players. Their instinct is to maybe like jump into the gems, but don't do that because none of the gems will home if you're off the ground. So kind of like charge. It's kind of the similar idea as a flame charge. It works the same way in the game. So keep that in mind, and then wait for this. Like I said, pivot, and then as soon as this gem hits the ground, boom, you're running. Jump flame, charge down here to the back, land there, get the red. As long as you did all that quick enough, cycles will be good here. Back ones first, or I guess front ones, depending on your perspective. There, cut back, there. Okay. Let's watch that all in fast motion. All the ones close to Metalhead. Then just going around as we get. And you want to be quick once you hit that last pylon back, because ideally we're getting a roll onto this. Now this roll is a lot more finicky than like the one on Blowhard, for example. Sometimes you can get these gems to home, sometimes you can't, but if you do get them to home, like so, you know you can start to leave just a little early. Like this saves maybe a half second, but you know, it's something to optimize. If you can get that fountain to home, you can just leave a little early, don't have to wait. I like to charging jump around this corner, kind of land right there. Be careful with this whirlwind. That's about as high as you want to hit it. Right there. This whirlwind's funny. If you jump too high into it, it won't like catch Spyro, and you'll just like kind of go down and then go up, and you'll lose time. Or just like whiff on the whirlwind completely. So make sure you're not jumping too high into this whirlwind. Charging jump left through these. Boom, 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 boom. Be careful. Sometimes there's like 3 gems right here, and if you go too fast through the section, sometimes one doesn't want to collect. So just keep in mind that sometimes you have to be a little careful if there's 3 gems right here. Through here. Sometimes that's why there weren't 3 gems in this case. It all depends on what attacks Metalhead's doing. Like sometimes this gem will even fall down here. Like these gems are a little variable just because the enemies change position depending on Metalhead. It's RNG basically. Technically, there's 2 chests over here that we're gonna end on. Technically, if this gem drops early and is this gem can also sometimes be a green. But if all those gems either drop or are in that back section that we just came from, technically these back 15 gems aren't worth it, but it's so late in the run at that point that usually you can't afford routing out 15 gems and you just have to go get them anyway. But it's borderline either way, but just keep in mind that if you do happen to get that RNG where there's not going to be anything here and you're coming all the way around back over for here, and you also have a really good gem count where you can afford to drop 15 gems, those are good ones to drop. Anyway, like I said, just hitting a flame charge here and ending. Okay, so I ended up with 442 here because I missed a 5, and also I skipped another 5 intentionally. So if you get everything on that route, it's going to be 452. Anyway, yeah, that's it for Metalhead. We are kind of into the home stretch now. We have flight level next with 2 pretty extensive homeworld sections, both at the end of Beastmaker's and at the start of Dreamweaver's before that. So we'll go over all that in the next video. Thank you for watching and good luck with the practice, and I hope you're having fun. Yeah.